Hi, it's Dr. Chelsea Azarkon. I'm here for Wellium to talk to you about self-compassion. So what is self-compassion? There are a lot of experts who have written about this and talked about this, but I actually want to read you the definition just from Wikipedia because I love the wording of it. So it reads, self-compassion is extending compassion to oneself in instances of perceived inadequacy or failure or general suffering. So basically, this means that we learn to respond to our own failures or our own difficulties with compassion instead of criticism. So why is this important? Why do we need to practice it? So self-compassion is believed to reduce anxiety and depression. I know I say that every week in everything I talk about, but biologically, self-compassion can activate the soothing and nurture centers of your brain. So what that means, it is a way of responding to situations that actually brings you comfort. Self-compassion can also impact how we respond to the world around us. So self-compassion, people who practice it tend to be more empathetic. They also tend to display an emotionally intelligent behaviors like being more willing to ask forgiveness, practicing generosity, even when it has no secondary benefit to them. So now that we know how important self-compassion is, the question is, how do we practice it? And there's 3 things I really like to do to build up this practice in my own life. So the first thing is mindfulness. And I've noticed that in my own life, when I most need self-compassion is when I'm stressed, I'm frustrated, I'm busy, and I'm really just not in tune with myself. And if I slow down and examine what I'm feeling, what I really notice is that a lot of the time, this stress state is being driven by something like self-criticism, fear of failure, or fill in the blank for whatever resonates with you. So it's really key to identify what you're feeling. Once you've identified what you're feeling, one of my favorite things to do to practice self-compassion is respond to it how you would respond to a friend. So if I'm frustrated or I've made a mistake, I might respond to myself by saying, what a stupid thing to do, I'm so upset at myself. But I would never respond to a friend like that. To a friend, I would say something like, you're handling a lot of things right now. You have done your best. That's an easy mistake to make, and I love you anyway. So it's really powerful to actually turn that language back on yourself. Third thing for practicing self-compassion would be act it out. So really powerful things happen anytime we take a thought process and partner it with a physical action in our bodies, and this goes for self-compassion too. So do something that expresses compassion toward yourself, and this might be as simple as slowing down so you can be aware and mindful through something like journaling or meditating. It might also be an act of self-care like taking a walk, taking a nap, getting a massage. Whatever you do, make sure it's something that brings you more in tune with yourself and more aware of what you're feeling inside. So things that we often do to respond to anxiety in our lives might be something like a really intense workout, or I might decide I'm going to eat a piece of chocolate. And there's nothing intrinsically wrong with either of those things. Both can be really great forms of self-compassion and self-care. But what we want to make sure is that those things are reconnecting us to ourselves, making us more mindful of what's going on. So if I'm going to be exercising for self-compassion, I want it to be that it is bringing me in tune with the sensations of my body and not drowning them out through the intensity. Same thing for the example of eating a piece of chocolate. I want it to be that I'm really tuning into my senses. What do I taste? What do I hear? What do I feel? And not that I'm kind of just mindlessly doing this so I don't have to feel the difficult emotion. So that's a really important distinguishing factor to be aware of when you're choosing your self-compassion act. So I hope you find this helpful. I think that self-compassion is something that our world really needs right now. We've walked through a lot this past year. We're still walking through a lot. So slow down and see if you can integrate some more self-compassion.